What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage. It's been for fuck ever. Hope everyone's doing great today and having a fabulous week, year, whatever the hell. The past 3 years, right? So I hope everything's been going well. Yeah, I decided to record something and we are back. I'm gonna try to start posting again more, but we'll get to talking about that in a second here. But I have a guest, the very first one, because I did not like doing rants by myself. We have Mr. Lunchbox from Casually Weiss Schwarz. How's it going, my dude?
Hello, I'm doing good. I just finished a 5-hour Overwatch stream. I still didn't get May. So I could be better, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I felt a little bit bad because I was like, Overwatch 2, not stopping until May is unlocked. And I'm like, shit, he's going to have to stop for this.
I didn't realize how much of a giant undertaking that task was going to be. Because I thought I'm pretty good at the game, I think. I'm not. So I was like, damn, all right. So matches took a little longer, but I'm here.
It's all good. I mean, that's the important thing. And like you said, we're here. That's the important thing because this almost didn't happen. Big shout out to my buddy Joe Schmo for letting me go over to his house and use his setup, which is like a really nice streaming setup, except for the fact that so much of his shit's in light mode. But that's whatever. The internet at my house was just shitting itself. So we had I last night thought oh, I need to call Joe and just see if I can go over to his house tomorrow. And I was just like, I gotta explain to Lunchbox, hey, you need to friend Joe on Discord and we're gonna call with him. And you're like,
I actually didn't have him added on Discord. I don't know how, because I'm really old. I don't know how Discord works. So I added you.
Yeah.
But I put in the numbers wrong.
Oh.
So I added someone else.
The other person's like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, so when you said, it's like, yeah, you didn't send me I'm still waiting for your friend. I was like, I sent it. I sent it to someone.
Yeah. I completely totally believe you. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but it was like, okay, it went through on Joe's. Let me just put his name in real quick and send a request on my end.
And I got it. Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. No, it was just really crazy for that with just getting stuff set up, but we're here. That's the important thing. I get to watch myself talk on Joe's camera, but this is just gonna be audio. I'm not gonna do a camera, but he has his OBS set up to automatically record, so I see myself talking and everything, and it's just weird. I'm just
face reveal at 500
for real. And I revealed my face a long time ago, bro.
No, that was 5 years ago.
The difference now is I don't have the long hair anymore. I had to I buzz cutted because of being a truck driver. It's just difficult to maintain long hair on the road.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a face reveal at 2,000 subs.
Yo, I can't wait to see the Lunchbox face reveal.
No. I'll do a face reveal on this channel when this channel reaches 2K.
For real. Total links in the description to go see Lunchbox. No, for real. I'll put your channel in the description, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
We were saying before, the last time you were on was podcast episode 33. You want to how this is gonna date us. We were using Skype back then to record.
Yes, I remember that.
The podcast with you, Waifu Wars, Riaz when I had him on, and most of the other people, I want to say almost every collab I did was on Skype. I think it was 60 or 70 something before I swapped over to Discord. I could be incorrect on that. I can't remember. But it's so many of them. Well, the first ones were always recorded literally just us in a room on a phone. And that's why the quality was shit.
Oh, wow.
Then when I did the collabs that involved people who were across the country, like you, is doxing you, sorry. No.
I film vlogs with here's my address, here's my license plate, here's my fucking VIN number of my car. Check this out.
Your editor's just, are you just sitting there editing and just future you is why? I have to fix this now.
No, the ones I filmed this vlog that was a road to Springfest.
Yeah.
And I did blur out my buddy's license plate.
Okay.
But then 2 videos later, I was kind of rechecking like, oh, I gotta add timestamps to this one video, and I was adding timestamps. I was like, wow, my license plate's just open. It's just completely out. I won't say what video it is, but also like I go to locals and people are like, are you casually Weiss Schwarz? And I was like, yeah, I am. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, y'all. So like people know where I'm at. Like you could just ask someone in Weiss, and I was like, oh yeah, he goes. This fucker goes to my locals.
We're just gonna follow him home.
Yeah, I'm like literally doxing myself by just like, like you could ask me what my address is like in chat, and I'll be like, oh yeah, here's my address.
It's okay. All the main people who would do so are just like not even over there. So I don't even know.
Yeah.
No.
So no, you're not doxing me. I'm on the other side of the country. You're doxing yourself.
I've told people openly like I'm on the East Coast. Well, okay. To the same effect, we've also told like our locals before in terms of the podcast as well. So we've absolutely have like said, oh yeah, we're at was at Blue Ox Games in Greenville, North Carolina was where we went to. Even though I don't live in Greenville, like I lived elsewhere. But yeah, so
what's the address? What's the address?
No, it's
triangulate where Greenville is.
Something 13th Street. No, I don't know. But no, it was so like so much of the stuff was recorded on Skype, and I promise people we will get into the Weiss Schwarz content because oh my god, 3 years and so much shit has happened. Yeah, and I'll get into explaining a bit more of like what happened, like to the like why all this, like why I didn't post anything for fuck ever. Like I'll post that more at the end, so people who want to listen to actual like legitimate Weiss Schwarz content. I say legit, fucking whatever. People who want to listen to the actual Weiss content, you can do that first, and then me setting up excuses will be at the end. So, but yeah, no.
Your first mistake was to have me on here. I derail everything.
Nah. I don't care, bro. I will have you on any time. I feel bad that it's been this long, not just the 3 years, but like podcast 33, and you said I ended at 95 or something, like which I was telling, which once again I'll get into that later as well. Just like that's like 3 times as many podcasts later almost, and I didn't have you on any other time. And I was like, ah, damn, I feel bad now. So,
that's fine.
But
we were both busy doing our own stuff.
Most definitely, like especially, like obviously, like for me, I new job and everything, so truck driving across the country, which I've been over to California plenty of times. So, very nice. Certain areas are nicer than others. I will say that, but
California's huge.
Yeah.
Where do you usually go to? Like around King County?
The most I would go over to is like around Fontana or like trying to remember what that's close to. I mean, they've been like around Bakersfield.
Yeah. Like more. Yeah, that's like around King County.
Yeah, more like the southern part more than anything, because my company has like terminals over there.
Yeah.
So I can just go over there and park whenever the fuck, so it doesn't matter. But they also like it's a lot of industrial stuff over there, so I'm able to like get loads really easy and get the fuck out. So the only thing I absolutely hate about California, and this is any truck driver, I'm just telling you right now, fucking trucks can't go over 55 miles an hour.
This is true.
And
that's a true statement.
I absolutely hate that. Anyway, trucking bitching podcast later. So,
oh yeah, that's behind the paywall.
If it's for real, that is on my OnlyFans. No, face reveals, feet reveals, trucking bitching reveals. Anyway, so all sorts of bullshit. But yeah, so the fact of the matter is there was a pandemic. It's been 3 fucking years. There have been a lot of things happening and a lot of not happening. So, like one of the biggest things, and honestly, one of the things that got me really wanting to like do the podcast again was the fact that we have in-person tournaments again.
Oh yeah.
Like, except for whatever the fuck happens with like Taiwan. I gotta pull up the Weiss Tea Time post thing. Like I said, we like, and they've been everywhere. It's not just been like in like one country or another. It's been Germany, the U.S., France, Spain, Mexico, Philippines, Australia, just like a whole, like just everywhere. It's like a whole bunch of different stuff, whole bunch of like different, like new decks that have popped up, which is all like more things I want to discuss about that as well in terms of like a lot of the decks and everything. What was it? It shows like the number of teams, the number of Like say the first one that like the very first one that started back up again. I know we had like the online ones, but to me that just doesn't feel as right doing it like online. I don't know I don't know your opinions on the what was it, online Rumble or something?
Bushy Rumble.
The Bushy Rumble?
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I heard there was issues though, with like people trying to like cheat on screen or something, like on camera.
There was a big cheating scandal in one of the online tournaments.
Yeah, I got you.
Basically.
Which I mean, I know people are gonna like try to do the shit anyway, whether it's in person or online.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're literally like camera facing down at your hands at all times. Why the fuck are you gonna try? I don't know.
Yeah, what it was is that they were playing with, I believe, 47 cards in their deck.
I do remember hearing about that. That people, yeah. I think that's hilarious though that viewers like sat there and counted.
I mean, you know, what else are you gonna do in the Weiss community? You only got so much to talk about. But there was actually some cat at like one of my locals that they went to. They were playing 8 Arch AOT, and they topped. But at the thing that we do at like all of our locals, it's mainly just like a couple cats that do it.
Yeah.
They take pictures of the winning deck profiles and they post it on Twitter.
Yeah. And
they posted the winning one, and someone counted it, and they were like, "This guy is only running 46 cards."
Okay.
And then, but the guy he like posted on Twitter, was like, "Yeah, I won, I topped my locals. This game's easy," or whatever the fuck. and then everyone like retweeted it, and I even retweeted. I was like, "This guy has like 46 cards in his deck." Or actually, I think it was like 43, like even lower.
Damn.
And then the next week, exact same deck, the guy brought out. Like everyone like liked and retweeted it and added like, hey, and commented like, hey, you're running this many cards. And then someone actually called him out. I was like, hey, can you count the like they were playing? And I was like, can you count the cards in your deck? And then they counted, and there was like, how many? Like then they did the math, and I was like, you're not running that many cards. And he was like, huh, what? Oh, I'm sorry, I scooped. And then he just like quickly scooped. And then the next week. Same thing. He joined again, got bottom. So, yeah, motherfuckers really be out here just trying to cheat.
It happens no matter the card game, like whether it's Weiss, Yu-Gi-Oh, MTG, whatever. Like, it's gonna happen. I don't know. People be trying. So, I'm not gonna like name names, but that's even happened at our locals here. Like years ago, I would like doing the exact thing where they wouldn't have that many cards missing, but they had like one or two. They were only like 48 or something like that, which I'm like, okay, it's not the worst thing in the world, but like it's still like, bro, you gotta. You're obviously like skewing the chances in your favor, obviously. So it's like you can't do that. So. But yeah, just like looking through the stuff and just like seeing all the new sets that were out. Obviously, we've gotten Hololive, Ruby, Final. I legit like my jaw dropped when I saw we were actually getting Ruby, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Fucking like Mushoku Tensei, Danmachi. I don't mess with Tokyo Revengers, but apparently there's a big following for it. Somewhere. I think that was the one that I saw them. Like they said, like at the Taiwan one, it was like a bunch of.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
But no, like the fact that we have in person again is really cool. I'm kind of glad that I got out when I did for like the sole reason of COVID making it so you couldn't play in person and whatnot. Because like I feel that most of the channel at that point would have been like podcast episodes bitching about COVID, and then I wouldn't have been able to post my typical videos of like deck profiles and whatnot, because I don't like to post a deck profile for a deck that I personally have not run.
Oh yeah,
like
I'm like that too.
Yeah, like there's only like on the channel there's only one deck profile that I actually did not test, so I'm outing myself. But it was for the Prisma Elia Kaleidoscope deck. But it's because I couldn't get my hands on the fucking cards to actually, like, test it. And I had a buddy show up, and he had picked up the stuff. And by our powers combined, we had a full Kaleidoscope deck.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, bruh, can I just borrow these cards for, like, 30 minutes real quick? because I knew what it was supposed to. I had done my research and I knew how it was supposed to play, and I made my own little tweaks to it. But I never actually test played that one. But every other deck profile, every other like anything up there that is me showing physical cards was an actual, like, I had test played it, I had done work on it, and tweaked accordingly. So I couldn't go play in person. I was like, well, I can't really test the 15 decks that I want to test. So I have way too. I've still been picking up shit the entire time, man. But what do we got? What we got upcoming really quick here, because they've announced other stuff, like obviously Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I was so glad to see that. I want to see how well that does. Although, what the fuck is up with them deciding, like, 7 years after the fact to finally give us power-up sets?
I don't know. What, I was even, like, confused, too. I was like, what? Really?
Like
that's so out of left field.
It's... I don't know what to think of it. And it's for, like, sets that are just... Forgive me if I'm just, if the rest of the Weiss community is like, you're just incorrect on this, Cade. They just seem irrelevant. It was like...
no, definitely.
Like, Log Horizon, Haruhi, and Kill la Kill. That was the other one. Like, they're just irrelevant at this point in terms of, like, everything else that's being played. I don't like to talk bad about, like, any one particular set or whatever, but... Like, I don't like to be like, oh, you should never play this set. It's absolute trash. I don't like to do that. I don't like to say that because, to each their own.
Oh, I like to say that.
That's why I have you here, so you can be the one saying that.
Yes.
I was like, no, Kate, this was dog shit. No,
that's my job. That's my job.
we gotta have someone up here doing it. But because typically before that was my buddy Matt. He was just like, no, this is shit. He was that kind of person to be like, no, that I was like, no, fuck this shit or whatever. But like, I don't understand. Like, for anyone who held on to their Log Horizon stuff, some shit has gone up in price. They are making bank right now. Yeah. But like, kudos, because I was like, I should have Log Horizon stuff at home, and then I didn't have as much as I thought I did. So
I have one extra booster set that was gifted to me. So, like,
unopened?
It's opened. I opened it.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, in JP, they're getting, like, Pixar. What? Yes. Like, I simultaneously love that and hate it at the same time.
Everybody already knows my
but
my opinion on that, on Pixar.
Yeah. Speaking of, final season set of Attack on Titan as well.
Yes.
Something you mentioned talking about that set. That's something I really kind of wanted to bring up as well, which has just had me absolutely baffled, is the secondary market for Weiss in general, for like card prices and stuff.
Oh yeah.
One, rest in peace, JKT. We will miss you. But like you had pointed out in a video where a lot of the Attack on Titan final season cards, like the level 1 Mikasa combo, even the level 3 Eren Titan combo, all that's like double rares, and they're like stupid. Or I think the Mikasa is. I don't remember if the Eren Titan's a double rare or not. I think that might be a rare. But all of the stuff is like stupid cheap.
Yes.
Like, so many competitive decks you can build. Like, what was like the stuff that is topping, the stuff that is winning is actually insanely cheap. And that's just something that's been baffling me about Weiss in general this entire time. Like, when I seriously started getting back in and looking at stuff, like I said, as of recent, going through this stuff, going through the tournaments and whatnot people have done, I see obviously even Hololive, especially Hololive in a second here, I'm just like absolutely crazy. What was the one? A specific one I saw was the Germany regionals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the top 8 were all quintuplets 8 standby.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and then there's another 8 standby for Mushoku Tensei, which I've been eyeballing the Mushoku Tensei stuff as well, and I'm like, damn, this actually looks really good. This is personally, I just really like it.
Yeah.
But then I looked at like the core stuff for like the 8 standby and whatnot for quintuplets and other decks, and it's just stupidly cheap. The core of the deck relies on a level 3 and a level 2 right now. I saw like the movie pack has like another like 2 different standbys for Nino and whatnot. But like the stuff revolving around it, like the level 3 and the level 2 that you need for it, are both double rares. One's $1, one's like $2. $2 and some change a piece. That's it. And I'm going, why is shit so fucking cheap? At least for me. Obviously, if you look at the fucking SPs and stuff, that's not cheap, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, you have, like, fucking... like, in the same vein, Hololive. Where you have, like, a Suisei SP or SSP that's, like, on release was, like, a couple $1,000 in terms of, like, the postings that you could see online for the secondary market. But then you go to the double, like, just the double rare section. I'm so used to going to the double rare section of, like, TCG Player and seeing, oh, here's this really good Brainstormer. Here's this really good Finisher. They're anywhere from, like, $10 to $15 for the Brainstormer. If it's a really fucking powerful Finisher. Say, like, let's take Bang Dream, for example.
Yeah.
The level 3 Mocha Finisher, or the level 3 Mocha that was, like, green, you did top checking for yourself and for your opponent when they attacked, and you could, like, get rid of climaxes off the top of their deck. Like, that Mocha hit, like, $30, $40 at one point a piece for like, yeah, like, minimum. And
Yep.
Even now, that still has a price tag, but then I see cards with almost the exact same effect. The exact, like, maybe not double rare, but maybe some of them are double rare, some of them are rare, but, like, $2-3. I'm like, this is doing the exact same thing. Is it just, like, I didn't know if it was, like, an issue with the sets or whatever. Like, Ruby was the one that I saw. There was a level 3 Blake that did, like, the exact same thing nearby.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
And Lunchbox is like, yeah, I'm just yes, nod my head, agree, yes.
Oh yeah, I'm the Mocha guy. I'm the resident Mocha player on Twitter.
Yeah, I have a Bang Dream deck that has that as a finisher as well, because I was able to get them for, like, stupid cheap. I pulled 2 of them, and then my locals had two copies of them posted for, like, $10 a piece because they didn't know that the price had shot up. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna scoop those real quick, and they didn't know. So I got the shit cheap. I was like, yes.
Loss is your gain.
For real. Because that was when it was like $30 or something a pop. But so, anyway, I see those, like, double rares that are, like, really good, really strong, but they have absolutely no price tag to them. They're... The market just has, like, so many postings of them where people are, like, trying to pull the SPs and the SSP to sell for thousands of dollars, that there's such a massive supply for the most part in my mind. And I'm going, like you said before, your loss is my gain type thing. You're just like, oh, I've built quintuplets. I've built all these other decks that are just like, you would have thought back in the, like, years ago, the shit to be like a $200 deck, and it's not.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's like $50 at most. So, and that's just me, like, just kind of like bumping it up. If I were to add up exactly how much it cost me for, like, say the 8 standby Nino deck, my own version of it, because I'm not running the fucking level 0. That's like the runner or whatever, like runs to middle center or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not running that just because it's like $15 to $18 a pop. Like, that has a price tag to it, but the rest of it doesn't. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, I don't know. I'm weird.
Expensive.
Yeah. Like, have you noticed that with other stuff you've tried to pick? Like, how much have you noticed with the price stuff going on in terms of like card prices? Which I feel like I shouldn't be bitching about it. Like, so much of the channel was like budget decks. So like budget decks, getting 2 trial decks, putting them together, and seeing what you can do from there in terms of like getting people in. This seems like one of the best times to be like, people can get in for so cheap, and I'm shouldn't sound like I'm bitching about it. I'm just stupidly surprised. Like,
Yeah. So from what because I've been kind of like not chronicling like it,
yeah,
but
I
like I
should.
know that it's been at least for the base rarity prices, it's been a real slow decline
Yeah,
in prices because mainly there's a lot of like there's more product being opened up
yeah,
than there was previously because in the past you've only had like maybe 3 or 4 major stores just cracking open products,
yeah.
and we've had one centralized um, regulator on the pricing, which was JKTCG. Everyone used JKTCG, or if they were doing JP singles, they'd
Yeah.
go to UUT. But now that JKTCG is gone, there's more collector's eyes because of factors like Rudy, the pandemic, TikTok being a major one. Because like all Weiss
Really?
TikTok is just openings, and that's all people want to see. People just want to see openings. So what are the collectors going to do? Oh, they see the money hits. They see the quote unquote like the boobs, the huge drawing factor in that. So a lot more third-party sellers and not people that have actual game stores. They just buying up all these products and just cracking it open. And what are they going to do with the extra bulk? All right, we're just going to fire sell everything so I could somehow possibly get my money back in these investments.
Yeah.
And now we have an influx of cards, which is good for the players.
Yeah.
But it's bad for the game stores because now they have to compete with all these third-party sellers that don't have a stake in anything. Like they don't have a storefront. They don't have to keep the lights on. They don't have to worry about building a community. So it is definitely a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm more leaning towards the this is good for players because I believe me, I've been to some shitty ass game stores to the point that I'm just like, you know what? If you're gonna be like this, I'm not gonna be coming here.
Yeah.
And whenever I do go to a local game store, I always like, all right, I'm gonna pick up a deck box, pick up some card sleeves, maybe buy a single here or there, or buy some product because I do want to support them, even though I got my cards from a third party source. So I think that if there's like a fine line between buying product from a game store and buying your singles from like TCG Play or something like that, and knowing who you're going to be supporting, I think that's like super important. But with the prices being this low, it's like absolutely insane. Like no one's making a profit with Weiss Schwarz at this point.
It's absolutely crazy. Like, me and Moroku, for anybody who hasn't listened to this in for fuck ever, is another one of my buddies who helped start the podcast. Moroku and I were like, oh, we saw Hololive, and we're like, oh fuck, this is gonna hurt us. This is literally going to stab our wallets in the nuts. And and we have bought like entire place, like almost an entire play set of all of Hololive, like double rare and lower, for cheaper than it would have been to buy like 2 or 3 boxes. Like like I'm like, I think literally the only double rare we haven't picked up is the level 3 Marin.
Oh, that's one of the money cards.
Yeah, that's like the only money card. Yeah, but when we're sitting there like, okay, for just Hololive as an example, but for like most of the sets that we were looking at, like investing in, even like say quintuplets, we would sit there and add it up, and it's like, what combination of double rares or whatever could you possibly pull to make up the money if you don't pull like an SP or a stamped or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
And I got lucky, say, with the Ruby set. I bought like 2 boxes of Ruby, and I pulled the Ruby Rare Ruby Rose. And if I hadn't pulled that, I would have lost a bunch of money on that, because a lot of the other cards weren't like up in price at that point. Luckily, there's been some cards to go up in price for that. There's like 2 double rares that are actually like money cards from it.
Yeah.
But everything else is like stupid dirt cheap. If it weren't for me pulling like those and like a triple rare that was like worth like $30 or something like that at the time, I wouldn't have made my money back on those 2 boxes and the 2 trial decks at all.
Yeah. Also, I think another like factor that it's finally like we finally caught up to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Is that content creators as well, and talking about like the different decks that they're playing, the different decks that they've built. I know that I'm actually guilty of that because in a live stream I was talking about how the Levi is only like at $2, the double rare Levi that's a Ricky, a searching Ricky, I believe. And I was like, dude, this is absolutely insane. This card would have been like a $20 card if it came out in like 2018.
Yes.
And then I was like, $2? Yeah, I could buy this out right now. And then like a day later or so, I want to go pick them up, and they shot up to like $8 to $10, and I was like, did I fucking do this? Like this is like. And then I was.
You're an influencer.
There's cringe, but yes. There's also I also have a joke on the channel where well, it's not. Well, yeah, it's a joke. It's don't trust YouTubers because they're just trying to sell you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trusted Collectibles, like the biggest offender because they have a storefront.
Yeah.
And they made a deck profile of the 8 Arch. I think it was Justice. They had 8 Arch Attack on Titan, and then then those, as soon as that video dropped, all the card prices just shot up. Same with their video on Attack on Tokyo Revengers, the dual laners. As soon as that went up, all the dual laner cards just shot up like immediately.
Yes. Which, I mean, like, there's always, like, just for sake of argument, there's always been sheep in my mind in Weiss. I would go to, like, say, a New Locals or something like that. Like, I'm not going to out people. I'm not going to say which stores or the people that I talked to. But back when I was when Kantai, this is dating this, when this happened. When Kantai was still big, and I'm like, I'm wanting to pick up Akagi Kais. I'm wanting to pick up, like, the expensive shit, the Musashis and the expensive shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a budget version because I don't have some of these big finishers and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like to look at other people's deck profiles solely for inspiration. I never cookie cutter deck profile anything. Even though I make deck profiles, I'm like, in my deck profiles, I try to show like, hey, you can swap this stuff around. You can try this. There's a cheaper option. Dot of this, dot of that. You know, try to validate myself here.
Yeah.
But but like one of the people I was talking to, I was like, oh, you should take out this. You should take out this. You should run exactly this many copies of this other card. And the entire time they're listing this off, I'm like, I've seen an exact deck profile of what you're listing off right now.
I have a similar story to that.
Go for it.
I went to a locals, and I went up to the man behind the counter. And I was like, I want to build Tokyo Revengers, and he was like, I got the perfect deck. It's from Trusted Collectibles, and I was like, I want to build 24 choice Tokyo Revengers. And he was like, I don't think they uploaded that video, and I was like, I know. No one's gonna make this video. I want to build 24 choice Tokyo Revengers. Please let me make it.
That's where you go, sir. I'm going to post that video.
I should. I fucking should. I don't think anybody has a deck profile of that.
Fucking go for it. I mean,
no, the deck sucks. Plus, I gotta buy all the cards too. On top of that,
I mean, if it's like cheap, it's whatever. But if there's, I don't know what the prices look like for Tokyo Revengers. I'm just like,
I gotta double check to see if that's like, actually cheap or not.
But I mean, if it's like dirt cheap, it's like I don't know.
Like, I don't know. It's definitely there is a lot of like cookie cutter decks floating around. But the thing is that I think it's different for a Weiss compared to like Yu-Gi-Oh, because with Yu-Gi-Oh, like it's very like you have a humongous card pool. You have every single card ever released in Yu-Gi-Oh. In Weiss, you're only like
you're limited to the sets.
You're limited to 100 cards, or if you're lucky, maybe like 200 or 300 cards.
I mean, if you're SAO, it's like 1,000 plus, right?
Yeah, you're fine. If you, I do not cry for SAO players. They're doing fine. But like as for like Kaguya, when like for example, when the deck gets figured out, it's figured out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's like, what do you change out? Not much. Maybe like a one of here and there, depending on the current meta of your area, because again, like all areas are different.
And you don't have to side deck like you do for Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like
it's like when a deck is figured out, when it's been fully optimized, it is optimized. Like Trust's Collectibles dual laner deck, I think that's it. Like, all right, well, you can't really fix it. You can't really change much of it. All right, so let's just copy Trust's Collectibles.
Yeah. Short of like them releasing another set maybe or whatever, it's like then stuff can be worked on, but half the time 9 times out of 10, JP gets it first, and people go ahead and figure out, is this set worth it? Sure.
Yeah.
Which was another thing me and Moroku theorized in terms of the price stuff, was the English exclusive, if you can hear the quotations in my voice on that. Like, especially with the English exclusive stuff, people didn't want to touch some of them at first, especially after what Bushi did with Cardcaptor Sakura, where it's like,
Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yeah, you're thinking the same shit. Like 2 weeks before the shit drops. So like BT Dubs, JP's also getting a set, and it's completely 100% different. And like,
yeah,
okay, cancel my order. Like I didn't order anything, but I know people who did, and they're like, yeah, I canceled like a case. I'm like, okay, you're fucking over your local gaming store on that, but that's on you. Like,
yeah.
But that's like they could have waited. They could have waited for the set to drop and then do that. They fucked like that. Like, so when you have a record like that too, I can understand what was Seven Deadly Sins was English exclusive.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of others off the top of my head. Adventure Time.
Adventure Time was another one, yeah.
Which I haven't looked at that at all. Final Season was English exclusive. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's only out in English.
Okay. So there's that as well. So I didn't know for a while if it was like the fact of, oh, maybe it's just where people aren't really touching it because it's English only and they don't want to like super invest in it or something. I didn't know what to think of with the English sets. And then you had other sets come out that were in JP first, most definitely. Quintuplets was in JP first. I could sit here and look through stuff if I actually pull up the list of stuff I had that's upcoming titles. I'm also super hyped for Avatar: The Last Airbender. I actually really want that for some reason. Kaguya-sama was also in JP first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember. I'm like having to go back. Obviously, Data Live. Like that was out in JP for like a long while. So you have certain ones that, like you say, like people have tested it. They're like, okay, this is exactly what you should, they've been figured out. Like in terms of, certain sets, whether it be like Heaven's Feel, I can't remember if Reincarnated as a Slime was English or if that was JP first.
JP first.
That was JP first? Okay. Certain ones have just they've been figured out. The formula has been figured out. And people go, oh, I know exactly what to buy when this drops, and they go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hololive was definitely JP first. Because I was sitting there when me and Moroku were ordering like the trial deck stuff. I almost ordered the JP trial decks instead of pre-ordering the English. I almost fucked up there, but I caught myself and I went, oh shit, wrong thing, and I had to go back and change up my order. Luckily I had not clicked pay yet, but that's whatever. So at first I thought it was that, but then even other sets that were in JP first dropped. So the most recent one, like Psychana or whatever, I haven't looked at the Psychana prices, but just some stuff was still just really, really dirt cheap, and I'm going, like, I couldn't figure it out. And then, like you said before, people are like what I call shiny hunting, like you do it for Pokemon, getting the shiny Pokemon. They're searching for those SPs that they can sell for $3,000-$4,000. There was I'm not calling people. I don't want to call people out on this, but there was a dude who I saw on like the Weiss market literally like yesterday. This is how we're recording this on Halloween, so spooky podcast episode. I saw like 2 different posts on Facebook in the Weiss groups on Facebook the other day. This dude got I was not expecting this to people start doing this, getting cards graded. Like, I know other people who've gotten like SPs graded and are trying to sell them for like $3,000 a piece. Even though like the regular SP price is like, $100, $150. The whole like graded concept has just absolutely been stupid for me in my mind. But they're like, oh, this graded Charizard sold for like 20 grand, or I don't know how much it sold for, but it was like 5 fucking digits. And people are like, I should grade all of my cards. Between that and this dude had like these promos from like the Bushi online Rumble thing.
Yeah.
He was trying to sell a playset of this thing for like $10,000. I'm like, bro, you forgot the decimal point. Like, you forgot to put the decimal point after the last 2 zeros. You shouldn't be asking for $10K for a playset of this card.
It's difficult to price Weiss cards.
Yeah.
Especially like stamps and like event exclusive cards, because like what do you price them as? Like
I mean, I'll take advantage
when you put what do you put a price on a champion card?
Were they champion cards? I don't know. I had to go back and look at
that's
this.
just an example. That's just an example. Like, what would you price a champion card?
Yeah. It's like back in like say Yu-Gi-Oh. The same thing happened with Yu-Gi-Oh with like what was the card? Crush Card Virus, when that was like Shonen Jump exclusive, like Shonen Jump championship thing. Like the only people who had it were the ones who like top 4 or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But like that was like an example in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's like, oh, this is $3,000. And I'm like, no? What? So it's like you said, it's difficult to like price out certain things, and without something like JKT, people are going to be like, I'm not saying JKT needs to come back. Like, that's whatever. I'm glad they were around when they were. At the same time, there were sometimes JKT prices, fucked me over on certain things, so I can't say nothing. But other times it was like, it felt a bit more regulated in like, back in my day, it felt like stuff was a bit more regulated, and I don't know. I like the fact that stuff's cheap for like, non-shiny versions. But especially when you do have people, like you said, stores opening like 10 cases or whatever the fuck, trying to get those SPs, SSPs. I'm just beating a dead horse at this point, but that's, base damage in a nutshell. Is beating a dead horse. It is like, it's good to see, but I've just been so shocked by it. Like, that's the point I'm trying to get at more than anything.
Yeah.
So, I guess moving on, in terms of like, once again, I know I was like on the whole Pixar stuff, but I have one important question for you, Lunchbox.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck is Weiss Schwarz Blau?
What is Weiss Schwarz Blau?
What was their thing? I want you to get into the mind of a Bushiroad employee and explain to me what the smart idea, buying the rights to Frozen for the casual side of Weiss. What financial decision was that in my mind? I don't know. That just sounds so weird.
Yeah, well, casually, Weiss is my specialty. So,
It's
Weiss
like
Schwarz
it's your
Blau? Yeah, I know, right? Hey, that's the name of the show.
Hey.
So, Weiss Schwarz Blau is Bushiroad's attempt at getting a different market, because from an outsider's perspective, especially in a Japanese Weiss Schwarz, it's a lot of like cute anime girls, and Bushiroad's trying to use Weiss Schwarz Blau as a way to get more of the Fujoshi audience.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making the rule set like a lot simpler, and it's just, to me personally, it feels like it is fairly sexist that they are implying that women can't understand the complexities of Weiss Schwarz.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to make the rule set simpler, and they're getting more series that are geared towards women as well. So they're getting a lot of they got Argonavis, which friend of the channel Hikaru Agata was begging Bushiroad to put in a Weiss Schwarz, but Monkey's Paw situation, you got it, but it's in a different version of Weiss Schwarz.
Yeah.
You're getting a Chicoa, which is my personal. I'm getting Chicoa. I'm ready for that. We're getting Strawberry Prince. We're getting Idolish. That as well. So it's a lot of series more geared towards women.
Yeah.
And that's basically what Weiss Schwarz Blau is. It's just a simpler game rules.
Yeah, I remember
cleaner card formatting, and it's just series for quote women.
Yeah, I remember like some of the cards you showed off were like vanillas and stuff, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind like the difference in how the cards look. For anyone interested, Lunchbox does have like a video where he like was talking about this a little bit in terms of like showing off some of the card art.
Yeah, I do.
So you should definitely check. Yeah, you should definitely check out casually. I was about to say Weiss Schwarz. What the fuck is light? Anyway, Weiss Schwarz. Ugh. And for anyone not wanting to know, Blau means blue in German, so it's literally white, black, blue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
This is true.
I took like 2 years of German in high school, so when I saw it, I'm like, that means blue, doesn't it? Hold up. So
the gears were turning in your head.
Yeah, I'm just like, hold up a minute. Why? So what does the color blue have to do with it? So I don't know. They couldn't pick red because then it'd be like I don't know. I don't know. It is just me making up weird shit just now. But like taking I don't mind in taking like making it for another audience. That's perfectly fine. They got in Disney stuff where it's like, what was the 3 Disney titles? It was like Little Mermaid, Frozen, and there was a third one. I can't remember what it was.
Wow, I'm drawing a huge blank.
Yeah,
I know just General Disney is one of them.
It's General Disney. Yeah.
Oh, it's Tangled.
Oh, Tangled. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking Frog Prince, and I'm like, wait.
God, I wish.
I know. For some reason, I was thinking
that'd be good.
That would actually be like crazy. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm just really curious. I'm like, how? Like Frozen is one of Disney's like biggest franchise, like straight up. It's like one of the biggest ones. I'm like, how much were the rights to do that? I wish I was a fly on the fucking wall.
Weiss Schwarz has, I believe, is like either the 6th or the 7th most popular trading card game financially in Japan. So I'm sure that they have the money to do it.
Gotcha.
And as well as just not just like being like in Japan, there's also like a lot of like international eyes on it, especially because of Marvel.
Yo, I was
when Marvel came out, like a lot of the international cats were like buying because they weren't able to sell it outside of Japan because of licensing issues. So a lot of people were just paying a lot of extra money to get it imported in.
Marvel, Star Wars as well. When that was dropped, I was like, oh shit, Star Wars. They can't bring it over in English. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, that was a while ago. And with even with the comeback set of Star Wars. Although I haven't seen that many people like crack it open because Star Wars is sure, but I think like everyone kind of likes Marvel in a sense, especially like there's a huge crossover between card game otakus and Marvel. I
Most definitely.
Well, hold on. I said that came out wrong. People that buy cards for like the hollows.
Yeah, collectors.
They're collectors. There's a crossover between Marvel and the collectors.
Yeah, like I've obviously like hell even I've seen like most of the Marvel movies, even though I'm not like a Marvel fanboy. It was like, whether it was just I got access to them because friends had like DVDs or whatever the fuck. But I did like I went and saw like say Avengers and whatnot in theaters. So I was like, oh shit, this is like really good. In my mind,
I stopped in Avengers. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm not watching this. Then I stopped. Yeah. I stopped watching.
To each their own. That's perfectly fine. But to that effect, I can understand why certain collectors would want to get in on that. And once again, like Star Wars as well, because I know people who are just absolute fanatics over them. So between that, say Marvel, the Pixar stuff, like I don't know how much Japanese people grew up watching Pixar stuff, but I know for fuck I did. I know that was what I grew up on. was like Toy Story and stuff
that
like
is
that.
a good point, but Disney in general is huge in Japan.
It is.
Like it's like immense. And then there was also like some people like because I was streaming the Weiss Schwarz Blau video, and people were like why are we getting Disney? Like that's like for babies. And I was like, no, you've obviously never talked to a woman. The women love Disney.
I mean,
you're just telling on yourself. Yeah, women love Disney.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. I watched lots of Disney growing up as well because I didn't have cable. We had access to like metric crap tons of Disney VHS and DVDs and stuff like that. So I would repeat. I've watched like Aladdin more times than I can count.
Hell yeah,
stuff like that.
I thought you were gonna say I'll be honest. I never talked to a woman. I thought you were gonna say that.
I figured that was a given. For anybody who's ever listened to this podcast, Joe. I mean, the fact that we've only ever had no. I'm trying to think if I've ever had any girls on the podcast. I'm not even lying. I'm trying to think I think we got one. We've had one single female on the podcast.
Is it Goth Mom?
No.
Was it Goth Mom? No. If I looked at my so me and 36 Cancel, we're basically best friends at this point.
Hell yeah.
So we were like sharing analytics, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I got like 2% women viewers," and I was like, "How many viewers are women in my channel?" And I looked 0%, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I got no female viewers."
I don't know. Well, see. I don't believe most of those analytics because people will just lie. Like I don't know. I don't believe some of those. It's still funny. It's still very funny. But I just would be like if all of a sudden mine said like, oh, you're 90% female or something. I'm like that's bullshit. So I would call shenanigans on that one. I don't know.
The fact that I'm getting views at all, that's where I call bullshit.
It's like, people are watching this? I have likes? No.
Absolutely not. Well, I stopped uploading for like 2 weeks, and then YouTube did not like that.
Oh, no, they don't.
Like my most recent video right now has 96 views. Yeah, it's never that low.
The algorithm does not like that. No.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
But, okay, so just a quick thing just for anyone listening who's been under a rock, because I certainly the fuck have. Blau is not in English yet. It's going to be for JP, and they have like a whole bunch of sets that we're probably not going to get. I don't know. For right now, it's not even slated for English, correct?
It's not. No.
Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there, but I saw that and I'm like, huh? So I had to bring that up. So, like I said, so we have like more upcoming sets. I know I like just threw it out there. I am so fucking hyped for Chainsaw Man and Avatar: The Last Airbender. I actually really hope they do well for Avatar. I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender growing up, so and I'm really curious as to like Chainsaw Man does not surprise me. Like the fact that they're like Chainsaw Man is like already confirmed. Is that also like have they said that's going to be English exclusive or what? Because I know obviously JP doesn't have it.
JP's getting it.
JP.
It was announced in JP. It was announced in English first, and then immediately JP grabbed it. But when I went to Anime Expo, and it was day one, and I was getting like tagged on Twitter. It's like, dude, fucking Chainsaw Man has a booth at or has a panel. No, not a panel. They have an advertisement on the Bushy, at the Bushy booth, and I was like, yeah, shut the fuck up. No, they're not. No, they don't. And then like I was on the bus or like on the tram to get to the convention center, and people were like, dude, they're giving out Chainsaw Man promos, and I was getting tagged because people know how much I like champion Chainsaw Man, and I was like, shut the fuck up. There's no way. Then someone sent me a picture of the actual thing, and I was like, man, y'all motherfuckers got Photoshop on your phone or some shit. And I walked in and I was like, oh my fucking god, Chainsaw Man is coming to Weiss. And for a while I was like, well, it's in English. Probably going to be an English exclusive because I haven't seen anything on it. Anything on Japanese Twitter. So the Bushy panel happened. Not a single word of Chainsaw Man. And I was like, the fuck is happening with Chainsaw Man? And then I went to the Chainsaw Man anime panel, and they were just talking about the series, and they were talking to the director. And at the very end, I was like, Chainsaw Man is coming to Weiss Schwarz, and I was like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? But I couldn't take a picture on time, and that's it. And I was like, well, all right, Chainsaw Man's coming to Weiss, but is it coming to JP or is it coming to English? And then eventually, Japanese Twitter posted, Chainsaw Man's coming to Japanese Weiss, and then Bushiroad gave us an official announcement like a lot later, saying like, "Hey, Chainsaw Man is coming to Weiss Schwarz." So it's coming to both. In JP, I believe it's coming out in January, and there's no release date in
English yet.
In English yet, yeah.
I gotcha.
So that it was a whole like emotional roller coaster. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Please tell me.
You found out it's actually gonna happen. You were the one yelling in the crowd, "The One Piece is real."
The whole me going to Anime Expo, that's a whole nother podcast that we could do. That was the like maybe the second best Anime Expo. No, yeah, that was the best Anime Expo I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bushiroad like treated me so nicely. Shout out to Bushiroad. They flew me out to LA actually, so I could buy a mug.
I mean,
Cool.
I saw your sponsored box opening where they totally didn't set you up with an SP to pull.
So what happened was that they said that they were gonna give me product because they gave Alex Hodges, who is my mortal enemy. No, just kidding. That's a joke. So they
you heard it here first.
They gave my mortal enemy Alex Hodges a Danmachi booster box and a trial deck to open up beforehand. And at Anime Expo, and my prize was they gave me a handshake. And I was like, they gave me a good job and a handshake, and I was like, the fuck? So I emailed the intern coon. I was like, hey, can I get an interview like with like you or like someone that does the advertising or like a spokesperson or representative or something? They're like, absolutely. Can you send us the questions ahead of time? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's how
so I was like, oh, they're probably gonna say no to all these questions, so I sent them the big list. Then they were like, yep, questions look good. We'll do the interview. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do the interview, and then I got to edit it, make sure the audio's all level. Then Alex Hodges just opens up a bunch of boxes, and he pulls the SP. And I was like, damn, I'm actually fucking pissed. Like, Alex Hodges got all this cool shit, and I get a handshake and more work. So then they hit me up. It's like, oh, can you do the Attack on Titan reveals? I was like, absolutely. They was like, we'll send you some booster boxes. And I was like, cool. Or we'll send you a booster box and a trial deck. And I was like, absolutely, I'll do it. So then Alex Hodges, he also told me, he's like, dude, like I gotta do like Attack on Titan like reveals, and I was like, dude, that's fucking sick. And they said, it's like, yeah, they're gonna give me a box and a trial deck, and I was like, yeah, they said they're gonna do that too for me. So in my Attack on Titan video, that's the opening skit. The joke is like, yeah. Bushy is giving me an opportunity to do more work for them. So that was the opening skit, and then Alex Hodges got his booster box and his trial deck ahead of time on schedule, like a week before release. I get an email from the Bushy intern saying, oh, we ran out of boxes and trial decks to hand out for pre-release. We're going to send yours a week after. So they sent mine a week. So they sent everybody minus me a pre-release box.
The fuck?
And my dumbass was like, okay, sir, thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't even fight it. But hey, I'm happy that I got the opportunity.
Yeah.
And no shade towards Alex Hodges. I just think it's really funny that he's like, not to dox the guy, but like we hang out. We be vibing together. But yeah, he's a fucking sweetheart. I love him to death.
I guess. It's just like, okay, you got actual boxes, and is this the I'm being paid in exposure type thing? Yeah.
That's what it felt like a little bit, because like I got my shit delayed. Like it was real. That was like way too funny. Yeah. I know. I definitely know that the whole interview thing, that was definitely a paid for exposure moment. Definitely was. But I mean, hey, I had a great time. Every day I went to the Bushy booth. Intern Kuhn was like, "Oh, lunch. Well, you know, he was my real name.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, yo, Lunchbox, here you go. Here's your PR cards. And he just kept giving me PR cards. And I was like, oh, I don't have the Shioko PR card. I was like, all right, give me 1 sec. He goes to the bag and he comes back. He's like, here you go. He gives me the Shioko PR card. And I was like, can I have the Corona one too? He was like, yeah, 1 sec. Then he comes back, gives me the Corona one. Oh, and then at the Bushy panel, I was sitting there and then I saw them walking by, Matt and the intern.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey guys, good luck. And then he was like, oh, did you get your PR cards today? And I was like, no. Then he runs to the back. I don't know where. He runs to the back of the stage. He comes back. And I was like, here's your PR cards. And I was like, thanks.
They just have it behind the stage like they're going to throw them out into the crowd or something.
That's what I thought they were going to hand them out. But dude, like legit, the cats at Bushy Road, at least like the forefront dudes, they're real fucking nice people. They're real nice people, and like I'm glad I'm like able to work with them.
Waiting for my sponsorship. No, I actually have to do content to be anything of that nature. So I never.
I mean, I've been doing this for 5 fucking years. So.
If I had actually been doing stuff, I would have added another 3 onto mine. So.
Yeah.
But so
yeah.
No, I can't complain.
Doing this for too long.
For,
Isn't there a question you had a burning question about Weiss?
A burning question
that I obviously cannot answer because I'm really underprepared.
No, you're fine. Like that was like a lot of the stuff. Obviously, like I said, I wanted to discuss the pricing stuff, and I feel like I want to kind of go into that a bit more in depth in terms of like later on, obviously for like another podcast episode. I guess this is where we kind of start like wrapping it up and like toning it down a bit. But in terms of like other questions, I can't I have everything written down. We've kind of covered most everything that I wanted to like discuss for this. Obviously, like in terms of like I'm getting back into the creating aspect, but I've kept an eye on stuff. Obviously,
yeah.
In terms of like major questions, you've obviously like gotten past a lot of the stuff. What was it? I think there was like something else I was gonna bring up. I can't remember what it was now. I thought of it earlier, but I don't have it written down. I should have written it down real quick, but that's my fault. If I think of it again later, I'll like message you or whatever. But for the most part, like a lot of the stuff's been covered. Obviously, I'm obviously glad to talk to you again. I want to talk with other people. In terms of like doing other podcast episodes at some point, other videos. I got to figure stuff out for what all I want to do.
Yeah.
So I have ideas, but it's stuff that has been on the back burner for years as well. Like I said, obviously right now, like kind of explain, I guess figure now I can kind of explain stuff that's been going on. Obviously my new job kind of affected like release schedule for stuff. I didn't like the fact that I was doing like just solo rant videos for quote unquote podcast episodes. So like my personal motivation was down a good bit, and it got to the point that at one point I wanted to do a deck profile. Cause like, I want to say like SAO or something got like a new fucking set, or it was either SAO or like Bang Dream or something like that. But I was like, oh, this will help me update a previous deck profile. Let me go find that deck profile and watch it again and refamiliarize myself with what I was doing, and then upgrade that. And I could like, so I'm like, oh, I'll just search it on YouTube. No base damage stuff came up. Like my stuff just would not pop up. If I searched base damage, like 2 videos came up. There was like 2 podcast episodes. I'm like, why the fuck is my shit not coming up? I would go through my library of all my videos and shit. I found the exact one I was looking for. I copy pasted it word for word title in the search bar, and it just wouldn't come up. And I like other people I messaged, like other people from the podcast, Timmy, Joe, and all of them, they did the same stuff, and none of my stuff would come up. So it's like, am I like shadow banned or some shit? I know the channel is not monetized. Like 100%, I just don't do monetization for it. One, I'm not going to get jack shit from only having like, less than 400 subscribers. So that's whatever. Like it became an issue of I basically lost all motivation. For one, this is before COVID ever was a thing. I've stopped like a couple months before COVID was a thing. When I was like, oh, my shit's just like shadow banned. There's no point if someone's going, I want to look up an SAO deck profile. What am I gonna do? Let's search it. And then my stuff doesn't come up. I'm like, there's no point in me making this stuff. So I lost motivation there. I had technical issues with internet, with equipment issues, with laptop and computer and whatnot. But I've remedied a lot of the other stuff. Obviously, other than my internet shitting itself this past weekend, like we stated before. So once that gets resolved, I can do like uploads again when I'm back in from truck driving. So, but that's kind of what that's basically what happened. Is I ended up just, I don't want to say it was burnout in terms of content, but I was not happy with what I was making anymore. And I just, like I said, when you're like, oh, am I like fucking shadow banned because the algorithm changed? I didn't know what was going. I was like, I'm not monetized, so are they just not promoting, not showing any of my stuff because I'm not monetized? I don't know what the fuck was going on there. So, just YouTube just not showing my stuff, whether it was for me or any number of other people who looked up Weiss Schwarz content anyway. It just killed all motivation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the same thing's going to happen with this, but obviously, like, with the algorithm has changed, obviously. I'd like to still make the content, and I'd like to get back into it. I told Lunchbox, I've been mulling this over for, like, months. And I don't think I would say, like, a number. The better part of, like, 6 months or 8 months I've been mulling this over. Like,
really?
I'm not kidding. It's just, obviously, like, work's also been, like, kind of, like, in terms of, like, truck driving as well, just kind of messes that up, because on the road, I can't really upload as easily, because signal. I can play Final Fantasy 14 on a laptop for some fucking reason, out on the road using tethering data, but, you know, I don't think I can upload, like, an hour-long podcast episode consistently. So, it's the thing of that as well. So, I don't know. Also, I'm just lazy. But the biggest issue of all is I'm just fucking lazy. So I've contemplated this, like, about since the beginning of almost since the beginning of this year. And I'm like, I kind of want to do stuff again. People are going to start coming back out and doing stuff. Like, during, like, peak COVID, I was like, nope, I'm good. I can't go in-person events. I can't go to my fucking locals, because they're like, yeah, the, you know, gaming section here in the back of the store, we can't have people actually playing card games because of, you know, social distancing regulations and
restrictions.
Shit. Yeah. It just fucked over a lot of stuff, for not just for Weiss, obviously, even for Yu-Gi-Oh! Or MTG. Everybody got the shaft on that. So, but once the restrictions started getting lifted, and I was like, oh, people are able to go back in person. We still gotta, you know, wear a mask or whatnot at the beginning and stuff. But even now, that's not even a thing. I went into my local gaming store earlier, the one in Greenville. I went in there earlier and was like, I'm like, do we still need masks, bro? And he's like, nah, you're good. Fuck it. So I'm like, okay. And then, obviously, like, having the regionals again and seeing people actually go out there. And I'm certain the regionals is different. You probably still have to have, like, mask and shit. But, like, I want to get back into it. I definitely do. I'm going to see how well that goes. But I also have, like, crazy ideas for trying to get people in on podcast episodes. I kind of, at this point, I don't know if I want to post a podcast episode if it doesn't have a guest. Whether that's Joe or Moroku or somebody. I don't want it to be me, myself. Like, that's just boring in my mind. I know people, like, post up that kind of content. And, hell, I listen to that kind of content. I'll pull up a Moist Critical video and just listen to him rant for fucking 10, 15 minutes about shit. I don't care. He's funny. But I'm not Moist Critical, so I'm like, no, I can't be like, yes, that is how he tickled the taint of all Weiss Schwarz players. No, I can't. No. So I'm not that. I don't feel I could be his level of entertaining. So I don't want to do solo stuff anymore. I want to have people on. So, but I would love to be able to get, you know, other people. Like I said, 3-6 Cancel. I would love to get him in on it. I've watched a lot of his stuff over the years. And, like, when I thought about getting, legitimately, this isn't me trying to play it up for the podcast or anything. I legitimately, the first person I thought to have was you for first guest back. I was like, I gotta try to get Lunchbox in on this. So I was like, what's my boy? I gotta get him. So anyway, meanwhile, Lunchbox is just like, I'm just like shedding a tear over here.
No, I'm over here trying to listen.
No, you're good. You're good. I am ready to try to like make content again. Is what I'm saying. So
yeah. I mean, now's the time. Weiss content creation has been way up.
Mm-hmm. I don't expect to go anywhere. I still kind of want to do like a lot of what I did before in terms of like, obviously I like to focus on the budget aspect of it, but that just, especially like I was talking earlier about the price stuff, it feels like that's just the, like a majority of the game at this point is like so much of it is budget is really good. So I'm like, cool, that expands a lot of what I can make. So
yeah. Not sure. I'm very excited about the current era of Weiss Schwarz.
Mm-hmm.
A lot has changed in the last 3 years since you've been gone,
Mm-hmm.
but now I think there's more of an uptick in content creation that's very exciting. There's a lot more just overall positivity.
Yeah.
I guess would be not positivity. There's a lot more excitement in Weiss Schwarz. Like people are, like I'm seeing more people getting into the game, more people being like, oh well, what's Weiss Schwarz? And although like a majority of them are kind of hype beasty, but I do see some genuine people trying to learn how to play the game because that's more what I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in the collecting aspect of it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more people playing the game, and that's and in my locals I've seen like people that I've never seen before, and they're all just like, I'm learning how to play the game and all that, and I'm like, hell yeah, well let me teach you, and then I kick their asses and I get my one for the day.
Oh yeah. But when I thought entertaining people, I'm like, yep, we gotta have Lunchbox on episode again. So
yeah.
He's like, nah, fam, wait, why the fuck you lying? So, nah, man.
No, I'm glad. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And
Thank
hopefully, like I helped
you absolutely
somehow and trying to catch up to what you missed.
Thank you very much for being here, man. I like legitimately after this, and I get back home, I'm gonna be looking into this TikTok stuff because I'm like, that's a thing for Weiss. That was the most surprising thing you told. Like I said, Joe has his camera rolling, and I'm just like kind of every now and then glancing over. I'm certain the look on my face was just like sheer what?
Yeah.
Just like Twilight Zone music playing of Weiss Schwarz is done on TikTok. I'm too much of a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
So
Weiss Talk is pretty big.
I'm gonna have to look that up now. Legitimately, I don't think I could ever do it, but I'm gonna be looking this up afterwards. So you definitely did me an educate on that one, good sir. So,
thanks.
But let's get to. I don't even know how long this is gonna be. I'm gonna check the time once I stop the recording. But thank y'all very much for tuning in to the first episode in fucking 3 years. It is greatly appreciated. If you want, like, subscribe, do all that shit. If not, hey, thanks for listening to me and Lunchbox rant for a fucking hour and some change. So I will get to signing off then. Thank y'all very much, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.